Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of The Voices of the World. Today is a very special one because we're diving into one of the most powerful literature ever. I am Shina.
I'm Kate, and joining us today are
Constantino
and Rush. And let me tell you, we're pretty excited for this episode. Yes, because we will going to talking about Spanish literature. A tradition full of epic heroes, dramatic plays, heartbreaking poems, and novels that changed the world.
And honestly, when we're preparing this episode, we're surprised that Spanish literature influenced global storytelling.
If you're curious about where modern novels came from, how poetry evolved, or why certain authors still being studied today, then you're in the right place.
Yes, we'll walk you through the different literary periods, the writers who shaped it, and share stories that shows how rich the Spain's literary literature really is. So, sit back, relax, and let's explore Spanish literature.
Alright, let's kick things off with the early roots of Spanish literature. Guys, have you heard of El Cantar de Niño Cid? Yes, that's the epic poem about Rodrigo Diaz de Guard, right? The Spain's national hero.
Exactly. And what I love about it is how it mixes real history and legend. It's actually one of the most old surviving Spanish literature in the 12th century. Britannia even calls it as the Spain's national epic.
And it's really show how Spanish living in the period. And really, imagine this, guys. Jews, Christian, and Muslim living in Peninsula. The clashes and the blood of culture shape their stories.
And it makes sense because Spain back then had so many influences. Their literature became this mix of heroism, faith, and cultural diversity.
Yeah, that's actually correct, right?
Yes.
And let's move on to my most favorite part, the Spanish Golden Age. So this era produced most of the iconic writers ever.
I already know we're excited to talk about Cervantes, right?
Exactly. Don Quixote is a masterpiece. And if anyone watching hasn't heard of it yet, it's actually about a man who reads too many books and think of himself as a knight.
And the funny part is, how is this reasonable to that? But when we go deeper, it's all about imagination, identity, and gap between dreams and reality.
That's true.
And what I learned from the scholar of Oxford reference, and it's called it the first novel, or first modern novel, and how influential it is. So Cervantes changed the way story told.
Aside from him, the Golden Age was packed with talent. Lope de Vega wrote 100 of plays. That man was unstoppable. And Francisco de Quevedo, his poems has this sharp humor, but also deep emotions. If he lived today, he might be the one to go viral with his witty lines.
Honestly, this period, it's like Spain's most creative explosion. So everything was alive, from poetry to theater.
Yeah.
Alright, let's fast forward in 19th centuries, whereby the shapes of love of the Spanish romanticism.
The era of emotion. I bet you're thinking of Gustavo Adolfo Becker.
Exactly, his rhymes quoted still today. He's simple but, full of emotions. The poetry foundation of Spanish even credit to him for reviving Spanish poetry.
And then came realism. The most shifted feelings to everyday life. More grounded, less social impact, and more real.
Kind of like switching Roman movies to documentaries.
Perfect comparison. And this era gave us Benito Perez Galdós, who wrote Fortunata y Jacinta, who was also compared to Charles Dickens.
His novels also a mirror to society, politics, class struggles, and daily lives of the Spanish people. And also he captured what is the real Spanish look like in this era.
Now, into the 20th century, for me, Spanish literature even more expressive and symbolic.
You're talking about Lorca,
Of
aren't you?
course, Federico Garcia Lorca's plays and poems are full of emotions, metaphors, symbolism. Bloodletting is one of his famous works, and his writing is studied all over the world.
And it wasn't the only one. Camilo Jose Cela also made a huge mark, especially with the hype. That book showed what life was like in Madrid after Spanish Civil War. Very raw, very real.
Ooh. His name is very familiar, you know. I scroll on my Facebook and I read that he won a Nobel Prize.
Exactly.
Oh, that says how powerful his work it is.
Yes. Go. So, let's answer the big question. Why does Spanish literature still matter today?
Well, for one, it helped shape modern novel. Without Cervantes, storytelling might look very different like now.
And it also influenced Latin American authors. Spain was a major publishing center, and so many Latin authors published their works there first.
And institutions like Instituto Cervantes keep these works alive.
They promote a Spanish language and literature to the world.
Spanish literature isn't just Spain's story. It became part of the world story.
And that's what makes it worth exploring, right?
Alright, let's wrap up through Spanish literature. We covered today's a lot, from medieval heroes to Nobel Prize winners.
And it's interesting how each period has its own personality. The medieval era was full of bravery and tradition. The golden age was pure creativity. The 19th century linked into emotion and society. And the modern era became bold and expressive.
What stood out to me is how the timeless the themes are. Identity, hope, struggle, and imaginations. The Spanish writer captured these things feels real right now.
Same. And that's what makes Spanish literature continues to matter. It's not just about reading old books. It's about understanding how these stories reflect who we are and what we experience.
If anyone listening wants to explore more, start simple. Try reading a few poems by Becker, or try look up a summary of Don Quixote. You don't have to finish everything right away. Just enjoy the journey.
And we hope we inspire you to dive into more world literature. There's so much more to discover there.
Thank you for joining us in this episode of Voices of the World, featuring Spanish literature. Stay curious, keep learning, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye!